Good morning and welcome to the Seneca County Board of Commissioner meeting. It is Thursday, March 23rd. I have the right date?
Yes.
2023. We are in regular board session. It's 10 a.m. and we'll open with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, prayer. I'll handle the prayer today if that's okay. Dear God, thanks for bringing us all together. Thank you for the rain and the birds are out. Spring is approaching. Officially it's here, but things are turning green and it's just time to reset and we ask that you overlook our meeting today, that we have good discussion and make good decisions for the citizens of our county. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Schuff,
Here.
Commissioner Frankert,
Here. Okay, well, I'll accept the motion to approve the digital recording from March 16th, regular board session, our last meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. We all agree that digital minutes are much easier to keep than handwritten minutes. So, welcome back, Jimmy. Again, nice to
Don't
see
get
you
sick.
back. Okay, we formally do not have anything scheduled on the agenda. We have some things to go over, and we'll just jump right into commissioner reports. Commissioner Frankert,
Sure.
you go first.
All right, very good. So last Thursday, went over to the celebration of another graduate from the START program that Jill Goshi kind of leads. She's able to get back with her family through a lot of support from the community and family and stuff on that. So what a great program that they had there. And so I jumped from there and then went over to celebrate the 500 members of the chamber and stuff at Renaissance. That was a great event and again stayed there for a little bit, and then I went over to the North Central Ohio Conservatives. They had actually Bob Latta as a speaker, so able to visit with him a little bit on our grant that we're looking for. Hopefully he can help us out with that, and he did a nice presentation that night. So and then Saturday night we went down to the Ritz for a sold-out concert of the Oak Ridge Boys, and I think Mr. Paradiso was there. What a great concert! What a great, yeah.
Two rows ahead of you
Yeah.
and 2 rows ahead of me was
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Nice announcement.
Yeah, that was a great event.
Side cover.
Yeah, they did great work down there, so. Tuesday night, we actually went over to Vanguard, Vanguard Sentinel. They had National Honor Society inductees, and actually my son was one of the ones that got inducted in that. So what a great program. We have the youth and stuff getting involved in, positive aspects of the community. So I tell you, one thing that really surprised me was that there's 18 of them that got inducted. And actually, there was one who's actually didn't have a homeschool. He was homeschooled and then went to Vanguard then for his technical stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. That
Yeah.
I think there's getting to be more and more of that people are looking at that avenue with it. So. Yesterday, went over to the Justice Center, had the Community Corrections Board meeting. They wanted to present, update their policy and stuff on that so they could continue to enhance getting some grants and stuff for all the programs that they do over there with it. So, and then we heard
pretty good
tonight.
meeting. That was a pretty good.
Yeah,
meeting.
good. Yeah, it was short and sweet. Those are the best meetings.
Yeah.
Get a lot done and make
The
it happen.
judges
So-
run those.
Yeah, actually, Judge Alt ran it, and
Okay.
so then actually Magistrate Clayson, he's the one that kind of worked on the policy and stuff with it, and did a nice job,
Nice.
kind of, working collaboratively with a few other counties and get it put together, and did a nice update with that. So it
Good.
was good. So
I'll go next, if that's okay. Go down the line here. So, last Thursday night, we had our EMS meeting. And for me personally, it might have been the best meeting we ever had. The tone of the meeting was great. Don was there, our EMS chief, and we have 4 squads in the county, staffed 24/7, as we sit here. So And you spent a lot of time out there yourself, Barb.
Yes, I do.
Helping out with the accounting and the bill paying, but we're, it was just really, really exciting to have that statement. Much of the discussion was about operations and let's don't get complacent, kind of what's next. And so I think we're gaining on it and we're clearly headed in the right direction. We talked about this last week, but the building out on 224, as far as the commissioners are concerned, we're full speed ahead. There's really nothing more we can do. I'm looking to you, Barb. We've ordered soil samples and topo survey, and so we're getting ready to bid this out. And they're putting the bid package together. There were a few pieces missing, right?
Yes.
Get that done, and we're hoping real soon we can open up to bid for that first building. So, pretty excited. We had a DAC meeting on Monday. I know Commissioner Schuff's going to talk a little bit about what the DAC is, but we basically we reappointed and appointed 2 members to the health board, which was our duty. We had a quorum. It was a pretty good meeting, and so glad that's behind us. Talked to Commissioner Kirschner yesterday about banking and investment, regional banks, and that kind of thing. So all you need to do is ask him a question about banking, and he's in his element, like your dad, Ev. And but it's some good insights. We have investment committee next week, and so those were the 2 big highlights. Barb's birthday's tomorrow.
You didn't have to bring that up.
So we had Allison and Jimmy this month, and now Barb. So happy birthday!
Thank you.
And that's all I have. Over to you, Commissioner Schuff.
Good report. Yeah, thank you. It was a busy week here this week at the Commissioner's office. We had another Eclipse meeting here this week. There was one at 1 o'clock and then one at 6. There's going to be quite a bit of planning that goes into this. So our county here, we're expecting to see numbers of anywhere from 50 to 150,000 people with an influx of that few days of the eclipse. We're trying to get out in front of this. So it's going to put major stress on our cell phone towers. It's going to put major stress on our housing, hotels, land use capabilities. So we're trying to get out ahead of everything here as much as possible. John Spar, our EMA director, has done a good job of leading that committee and getting information out to folks. So kudos to him, and just every meeting's more and more informative. We're not going to be 100% ready for every single scenario, but just try to be as safe as we can and make sure that safety services are at a top notch and roads are open, and just it's going to take a lot of work, but we're looking forward to it. Tonight we have an annual township trustee meeting. That'll be at 6 o'clock, I believe, gentlemen.
It's quarterly.
Quarterly, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Thank you. So that we have that tonight. Also with like the ODOT conversation that we had last week. So we had formed a small group. We're going to get together here on the 30th just to have some preliminary type discussions. Not trying to create 2 or 3 new committees, but just get together, look through some of the transportation and road study plans that we've had in the past here, figure out a priority list, get with our economic development professionals here within the county, and just there's a lot of money going through ODOT here in the next year or so, and we want to try to bring as much of that back here to the county as possible. So if we have a good plan, like I said, we do have that meeting set up for the 30th here at the Commissioner's office, just to have some preliminary discussions. Coming up this Tuesday, we have a land bank meeting. Did receive a call from Richard Kagi here. I talked to him in person after the Eclipse meeting, and he was wondering where we're at with some of the land bank projects, and specifically the church out in Bloom Township. So I was able to call Renee Smith, who's in charge of the land bank group. She gave me where we're at in that process, but it does take some time, but she's done a very good job with that, so kudos to Renee. And just we're moving along with those projects, and was able to get back to him in a timely manner, and he seemed to be very content with that. Coming up next week, there's the celebrity basketball game. There's a ribbon cutting here this weekend at Greenfield Stables at 3:15. Maybe I'll save that for Bryce. We'll let him go into details about that. Some Seneca County Young Professional events coming up. And then, let's see, what else am I forgetting? So Jimmy took some time this week and he prepared a slide or a PowerPoint here on the DAC, the District Advisory Council. So this group gets together once a year, and I think there was some confusion out in the county how it works, how's the board structured, what's their roles, what's their responsibilities. So Jimmy took some time this week to put together a PowerPoint, which I'd like to share with the group here, just do a little educational piece. But there's a lot that goes into this, so I just want to make sure the public's informed as much as possible. So the Seneca County Health, General Health District, District Advisory Council, the DAC is what that stands for. Roles and duties here, composition of the local health board. So what is the District Advisory Council? It's a multi-jurisdictional health district, like our Seneca County Health Department. They're overseen by the District Advisory Council. So the makeup of that board, the Seneca County DAC has 24 representatives. Each township, which we have 15 townships here in Seneca County, each township has a representative. There's one from each of the 6 villages, one from each of the 2 cities, and then one from the county. Next slide. Secondly, roles of the advisory boards governed by the Ohio Revised Code 3709.03. Annual meetings in March, and it's in March every single year. The purpose of it is electing a chair and a secretary, making the necessary appointments to a 9-member Board of Health, receiving and considering the annual or special reports from the Board of Health, making recommendations to the Board of Health or Department of Health concerning matters for the betterment of the health and sanitation within the district or necessary legislation. So the composition of the Board of Health, the District Advisory Council is responsible for appointing 5 members. City of Tiffin is responsible for appointing 2 members, and then the City of Fostoria also gets 2 appointments.
9-person board.
9-person.
Board of Health.
Yeah. So with the Seneca County Health District, the Advisory Council, there's, like I said, 24 total members, 15 representing the townships, 6 for the villages, 2 for the cities, 1 for the county. It appoints 5 of the 9 of the Seneca County Health District board members. Like I said, you can see there, Tiffin 2 out of 9, Fostoria 2 out of 9. So if you break down the percentages here as far as the makeup goes of that board, the City of Tiffin has 24.5% of that representation. City of Fostoria 24.5%, Seneca County at 2.3%. And like I said, each individual township and village is 2.3%. So between the 2 cities, you have almost 49% there. Then lastly here, the county's representation on the Board of Health. For the 9, 44.4% of the members are chosen correctly by the cities of Tiffin and Fostoria. Same with 5 of the 9, 55.6% of the members are chosen by the 24-member District Advisory Council. Then the county has 1 out of the 24 votes on each of the 5-member appointed by the DAC. So basically 1 in 24, it's 55.6%. Or 2.3% of the representation. This doesn't always work out this way, but as not all representatives attend the DAC meetings, when a quorum is not reached, a 5-person executive committee can be formed to make appointments to the Board of Health, changing this calculation. So this last meeting that we had this week, we did have a quorum at 13 members. It's one of those things, it's hard to get people to the meetings, but I know there's been a lot of questions that our office has received about the DAC, how the appointments work, how the board's made up. So we kind of wanted to educate the public, and like I said, kudos to Jimmy for putting this together. Just wanted to inform the public how the board works, how often they meet, what their roles are, and just how the representation breakdown works. So, like I said, thank you. So.
You want to add anything?
Nope, yeah. no,
Good
that's well
job.
done, so, yeah.
Jimmy?
Very good summary.
Anything from your
Yeah,
end?
we kind of dug into it and learned some stuff this week, between Commissioner Schuff and I, and it's just interesting that the county has the same kind of voting power that any township or any village has. And I'm not sure I knew that before, so it's interesting.
I didn't, and we get a lot of calls at the office about appointments and people that run for certain things. I mean, we have a seat at the table, but just kind of wanted to show the makeup here of where the votes go and who's got the breakdown, the percentages as far as appointing these people go. But we just want to make sure we have a quorum in the future and people are attending these meetings because it is important here, especially with the health department.
Well, it's a good way to get their voice. I mean, that's one of the things you hear is we don't ever have a voice on situation, so this is a good way of doing that. You know, I think next year's work a little bit, and maybe get information out a little sooner and stuff on that. We've kind of fumbled on that and stuff with it, but learn from your mistakes and move on, so yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Yep.
So, Board of Health has a full, they have one opening. Bonnie Boroff resigned, so the city of Tiffin will be making that appointment. And well, I'll leave it at that. Good, Jimmy? Thank
And I
you.
think Board of Health is also having a meeting tonight also, so they
Yeah.
meet once a month, usually towards the last Thursday.
Yep, and I think they have a
of
Zoom link for that
the
if you
month.
want to check it out on their
Zoom link
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, the meeting Monday was recorded and it's out on
On our page.
the page.
Yeah.
So if anybody wanted to see it, they could.
Yep.
All right, thanks. No, it's good. Real good. Over to you, Barb.
Okay, I have a couple things.
Administrator's report.
We received an email from Quinn Weinberger in regards to pursuing community solar land development projects within the county. They were just wondering if the county would be open to pursuing a pilot agreement of this type of project. That's just kind of an email. We can, I mean,
We can talk about it here real
Do
quick.
they want to come in? 'Cause I mean, it's kind of,
we
Well,
can
I
schedule
think-
something for them to do a presentation.
And maybe what we should do first is we all maybe send our resolution for the SB 52 that's passing the county too. They might not be aware of that first, and then if he wants to review that and come in and
That's my
visit.
first thought, by the
Yeah,
way.
maybe let's send that to him, and then if he wants to follow up with that then, and then we could do some,
So this would be a
reverse on
large-
the wind, the
this
solar.
would be a
construction.
large scale.
This would be a large scale. is
If
what
he's talking
wanting.
about a pilot.
Yeah.
This would be
Correct, yeah,
a
so-
big one. So we have a resolution, I agree. We have a
Yeah.
procedure. Did he, I think he sent that to me. Who
Yeah,
he sent
everybody,
that to?
yeah, everybody
We all got
We all
it.
got it.
I
And then we
believe so.
said, let's bring it up in the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep, sends a resolution, at least gives them an idea of where we stand on,
Projects like that,
Yeah.
yeah, large scale wind
Yeah.
and solar.
So what that will do then is then, if, depending on where it's located, then this person would have to go to the townships and villages in that location, talk to them, surrounding, and then bring it to us. We would listen to him if he came in, but I think that's the start. Okay?
And I think that's the main caveat for the SB 52 is to get it back into the local.
Get to the
you know,
local
seem like,
people.
Yeah, from us down to trustees and stuff, because I know they're the ones gonna have to deal with it on a daily basis and stuff with it, so I think that was the largest caveat for that, so.
Does that make sense to you? Tyler, we good? Yeah, so that means in plain English that we're no, we start out with that we're no for big solar, big wind projects.
yeah.
Part two is, if someone wants to bring one to the county, depending on where they want to be in the county, if the local residents in that area are interested, we would consider at our level talking about it and
Yeah, because I think
seeing
it
what
turns
the deal is.
into, I'll get, further details from Derek on, but I think it turns into a referendum.
Referendum
and
opportunity,
all that, so that
there's a
would
lot
take
to
it.
it.
So there's a lot of moving parts with
Yeah.
it, so, yes. so.
But a pilot will come to us.
Pilot will come, right,
Yeah.
but yeah, many steps before that would.
A lot of steps.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what they want to know. Do we get the pilot?
Yeah.
And then they don't want to do all the work first. They
Mhm.
just want to know if they have the pilot.
Right.
And there's a lot of work to be done first.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
The only other thing that I have in commissioners' reports is, I have an agreement here to terminate the service with, Richland County, effective, 5/31 of '23, so that we can, move over to Safe Built for our building projects. Just need a couple of signatures, so,
This is old news.
Yeah.
Just a little housekeeping.
yes,
So, did I hear you right? March 31st?
March, or I'm sorry, May
May-
31st.
or May 31st
I'm sorry,
we'll
yes,
start.
May 31st.
Okay.
So June 1st, we would be going to Safe Built, using them for all of our building.
And I think
Good.
whoever's with Richland finishes out their project.
I believe so.
switch over,
I believe
kinda
so.
how that
Mhm.
proceeds.
So, good question, and we will have Safe Built in at some point for an update, but if you live in Fostoria and you pulled a permit at Wood County, and you live here and you pulled one out of Richland County, and your job's not complete, and then May 31st comes, you still finish with the county you pulled the permit from. And so there'll be a little bit of bleed off, right? Maybe, I don't know, up to a year or so to, all those permits are closed out, and then, is that, I think that's what you asked.
I believe that's the,
Because
Right, yeah.
Fostoria Council asked us that question. We didn't know the answer. So I say it because now I think that they clarified.
Might be a good idea too for Safe Bill to maybe get to like a city council meeting or go over to
City and
Fostoria,
Tiffin.
just kind of
Yeah,
answer any
Fostoria.
questions, get some FaceTime.
I think that's great. At some point, we'll let them decide, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we get it in May, I mean,
Get into May, they'll get their feet wet, but I think they should definitely go to both councils and give an update. Yep.
that's all I have for administrators' reports.
Okay, we'll jump into any old business. Anybody? Anything you want to bring up?
oh,
Okay, new business.
I have several supplemental appropriations. First of all, I have a reduction for a transfer outline for the Victims of Crime Act grant. They just over appropriated, so they're just basically giving that money back to their fund. I also have for the VOCA fund, other expense cash in the amount of $700. This is for trainings, hotel expenses, and per diem for their advocates when they travel. Then I also have in that same fund a salary cash of $10,000. This is, they have changes within their office, so they had to put more money into their salary lines. The clerk of court's computer research fund in their contract services of $40,000. This is for conversion of images to strategic solutions. Then I have the community develop block grant, the homelessness prevention of $5,702.81. This is the remaining funds of project year 21 to be completed in 23. And then I have the EMA fund for their software licenses and services for $4,000. This is additional for annual contracts. Then I also have the wireless 911 fund. This is contract service of $65,470.45. This is for the calendar year 2022 fiber repayment to the commissioners. It got missed in December when they normally pay it, so they're gonna pay it now, get the money put in place, get it paid now.
Is this an annual?
It's an annual, and
That
then, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, that it ends either at the end of this year or the end of next year. I can't put my finger on that right now.
So there's two payments. There's one,
This one was for 22 that was missed.
yeah.
So then they'll make the 23 payment will be made in
And then
end
the
of November,
fiber
beginning of
payment, the
December.
$50,000 payment, is that's separate?
That's completely different,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
but
completely
it
separate.
has-
But EMA was paying for a portion of this fiber.
I think it was all part of the same project.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm good.
And then the last one I have is for the unclaimed funds. It's for $16 for their unclaimed trust. They had 2 witnesses and/or juror checks from October, November of 2022 that were cashed by the bank after the funds were already moved to unclaimed funds. So they just have to kind of shore up that account, so. That's all I have for supplemental appropriations.
Motion.
so moved to accept the appropriations.
Second, Commissioner Franker.
Okay, discussion, and one more question, Bart.
Sure.
So the clerk of courts, is this part of that, there was a really big contract, is this just all part of it?
I think this is part of her,
Yeah,
her
'cause she
contract.
got
She's
a
having
bunch
a
of
lot
money.
of conversion, a lot of things converted to PDF or TIFF, so I believe that's what this is
That's
for.
off to Jean, she does a good
Yeah,
job.
she does, very
managing-
good job. Mhm.
Managing the funds and doing a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like we've seen a few of these. Same thing with EMA and John out there with the licenses, so this is good.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
things are progressing, yeah. Okay, we have a first and a second. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
And then on to the resolutions. I have an amending the resolution certifying unpaid assessments to the county auditor for collection, Ohio Revised Code Section 6117.02, approved September 1st of 2022, and amended on December 27th of 2022. Looks like it's just a small amount that needs to be corrected.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
The next one is amending a resolution approving the recommendation of the Tax Incentive Review Council's findings regarding enterprise zone and community investment area tax abatements for companies located in Seneca County for the tax year 2022. I believe this was just a typographical error in the original resolution.
Motion to pass the resolution?
Second.
Hearing no discussion, roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
The next one is a resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to accept the bid from Great Lakes Demolition Company for the superstructure replacement pre-stressed box beams C-2023. It's for the engineer. It's in the amount of $232,650 that I would imagine as soon as this is signed, they'll get started.
That was a few weeks ago. bid opening.
Yep.
So move.
I'll second it. Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
Actually, just a comment on that,
Sure.
I'm sure a lot of guys don't know, but those guys actually live in Seneca County.
Yeah.
They're north of Clyde there, but they actually, most of them, so it's good to have, local contractors and stuff, working our county and stuff on that, but yeah.
Absolutely.
Is Mark wouldn't be on, would he? Is he on?
I don't see
I don't
him.
think so.
Okay, yeah. I had a question for him, but it's okay. Next.
Okay, the next resolution is setting time, date, and place to receive sealed bids for the OPWC Issue 1, Round 37, payment year of 24 road project. We will set that time at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, May 4th, 2023, here at the Commissioner's office.
Okay, make a motion.
Second?
Passage. Discussion? Anybody? We're good? This is round 37. Wow. That's right. Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Now, after I didn't talk, so when we get to round 40, then there'll be a new 10-year bond in the state of Ohio. These are 10-year, I didn't know this, but first 10, 10, 30, this is the fourth 10-year bond that the state floats, and it's in the billions. And then it goes for 10 years, and there'll be a new one on the ballot in probably 2-3 years, right? To get us to the 40th. So this is state highway money. We get about $1 million back to
Yeah,
Seneca County.
no, that's, yeah.
Which is
helps,
great.
Yeah.
But that's what the round means.
Sure.
I didn't know that. I asked Mark Zimmerman that a few years ago, and so the public knows.
Well, I think we ought to maybe put something on our calendar when we get to the 40th then. I say ribbon cutting.
We'll have Commissioner Schuff bring them in for
Yeah.
we'll have you bring them in and see if we can get $1 billion instead of $1
Right,
million.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Beat him up,
Highway
beat him
money.
up a little bit.
Yeah, I love it.
Just let us know, we'll put it on the calendar.
All right, next one.
Okay, I have a resolution accepting the 21-22 sewer district policy and procedural manual effective retroactive to January 1 of 2022.
Okay. We have a motion.
Yeah, I move to. Second.
Second, okay, discussion.
Yeah,
So-
go ahead.
Yeah, Barb, you want to add anything from your end in the discussion? And then we'll talk up here.
As far as I know, this is relating to audit issues that they've had in the past.
I think, yeah, I think.
So, go
think-
ahead.
We should
Bill
probably
might
look
know.
into, yeah, I think we should look into this. I think they're kind of looking at, kind of on our behalf with, procedural with that. So I guess at this point, maybe we should just table it till we get
That
further
was
information.
my question that we have, because Derek did,
He-
was talking, I believe, to Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
And Jamie's not here.
Correct.
Good. Do you want to say?
Could regional planning be included in that conversation since we're the ones who administer it, we're the ones who create the policy and procedure?
Yeah, we're
And the
good.
one that you have now is basically defunct starting next week. Because next week we go live with the new software, so we will be sending in amendments to, we're not gonna do it every week, but we're gonna try to do the amendments probably on a quarterly so it doesn't overwhelm for the policy and procedure. But we need to be included on that discussion for the current one that's basically gonna go defunct.
So,
Well,
what-
maybe a little more foresight on getting it to us a little sooner, so that way we can evaluate, this, these procedures and stuff with it, so.
Sure.
That's why, before we do anything, that's why we always, go to Derek to evaluate.
I think the
before we
question
redirect
is,
it.
do we go back 1 year or 2 years? Is that the
That's-
question?
We discussed that with Julie and she felt 1 year was appropriate.
Okay, so we're, as commissioners, we're gonna wait to hear from Derek
Derek and Jamie,
and Jamie, and then this will be back on the agenda for discussion and action.
Do you need a motion to
Hopefully
table?
next week. I don't know if we need a motion to table or not.
let's do it, just.
Let's make yeah, let's do it.
Make a motion that we table the resolution.
Second.
Okay. Let's do a roll call, make it official.
Commissioner Frankert, sorry.
Yep, yes.
Commissioner Shaw.
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, thanks. We want to get it right. Back to you.
Okay. The last resolution I have is authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to enter into an engineering services agreement with RCM Architects, Inc. for the purpose, for the proposed new Seneca County EMS station.
I will make the motion.
There you go. I'll second that, so yes.
We don't need much discussion other than please hurry up.
Yep,
Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
yes.
Commissioner Chef,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
That's all I have as far as resolutions.
Okay, any other new business that we'd like to discuss?
I have two questions here, just real quick
Okay.
while we got Charlene in the room. Is the county directory up to date now for the electeds and all the office holders?
Yeah, Lori, we have it up to date and Lori does any changes every Friday. So you can print it and then if you see something that needs changed, just let Lori Payne know in our office. Just send her a quick email. But usually, like, if somebody changes, like a department head changes or something happens, we'll get a notification. When we get that, she goes in and every Friday, she has it updated, then uploads the new directory.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a lot better
Oh, it's
today
a lot.
than it used to be.
Yeah.
Just wanted to check, thank
It's
you.
pretty good, really.
It is, it covers everything.
Yeah.
It's
Anything else,
expensive.
Gary?
Yeah, secondly, I know we had some discussion with Tom last week. Did we get the issue figured out or resolved or in the right hands as far as that grave marker went and the,
Yeah.
okay.
I did, yeah.
Should we talk about that at all or just, it's handled?
Yeah, no need to talk about it. The township that's responsible is taking care of it. and-
Okay, so you did reach out
Yeah.
to, somebody did reach out to.
Was it Clinton?
Yeah.
Clinton,
Oh,
yep.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Is that good? You satisfied?
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll, Jimmy, we'll start here.
Oh, we
I guess,
got Mike
before I
Ditto,
go.
he wanted to give a quick update.
I do want to, I would like.
You wanna do that?
Mike,
Oh, okay.
Let's do that next.
Good. Are you
Bring
ready
him
for
on.
public
Yeah,
comment?
bring him
Okay.
on. Sorry,
Yep,
we'll
you should
look
be good to go.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning, Mike.
Always good to be with you. Just a quick couple of updates here from Columbus. As you know, the state budget hearings are underway, but sort of the big ticket item that's happening right now through next week is the state's transportation budget. That has to be done by April 1st every year so that there's not a lapse in the projects that are happening around the state. The Ohio Senate is voting on that legislation today and sending it back to the House, so it will not be finalized until next week. But some of the big items that may be of interest to you that the Senate made changes to, there was language in the bill raising the speed limit to 60 miles an hour on certain roads, including some township and county roads, from the current 55 miles an hour. Once that went into the bill, the governor yelled pretty loudly that he would veto that language, so it was removed. He was not for that in any way, shape, or form, and made that very clear. The State Highway Patrol also weighed in with statistics on fatal crashes, obviously due to speed, and the governor had said he'd veto it. So that speed limit change, if you've heard anything about that lately, is not part of the current bill that the Senate is voting on today. It could come back next week, but right now it is not a part of the bill. Additionally, you may have seen, and I know the County Commissioners Association has been very, very diligent about this, about making change to force account limits. And that's been a big deal for counties for many, many years. So the way that the Senate has put forth their version of that force account limit issue is that they are providing a lot more local discretion on that. And I'm reading here from this quick summary from the Ohio Senate. It says that it allows local entities, including counties, to establish their own force account limits or choose to use an increased statutory limit based on the National Highway Construction Cost Index. So that is something that this was not something that the House put in, the Senate did. So it's going to be an item of difference for them to discuss in the final week of the budget. So look for more on that and a probably more detailed summary when the bill comes out next week, because it is an item for negotiation. So those are kind of the big ticket items happening right now. Certainly more to come. We're about a month away from the Ohio House passing their version of the state budget, which will, that's gonna impact people across the board. So stay tuned on that. Those are the big items right now.
Any questions? Mike?
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Mike, are you able to take a quick call from Jimmy and I after the meeting?
Of course.
Okay, we will, shortly after the meeting, we'll call you. Thank you.
Sounds good. You bet. Thank you.
Okay, we'll do online first, Jimmy. Anybody else online? Like
Yeah,
to
I
speak?
will, I just opened up the line, so if you'd like to speak
Switch
during
around.
public comment, you can unmute yourself now. I didn't see anything in the chat other than Mike. I think
See
we,
Kathy Oliver's on there, Sheriff's on there. Mayor Don. Anyone want to speak? Okay. Back to the audience live. Bryce?
Yes, I just want to remind the community that this weekend is Be a Tourist in Your Own Town. Starts tomorrow, noon to 4. Every museum and gallery, the historic Octagon House has an open house, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. The Tiffin Train Depot, Larry Breidenball's opened that up as well. I just want to remind folks, if you know anything about Marissa, she's outside the box thinker, but there's a cat named downtown named Beans. So I go, was cat here on me earlier? His name tag, let me pull it up so I say it correctly, says not lost, just exploring my own neighborhood. So we found the owner of Beans, the cat, the parents found Beans again today. So we're doing a little feature on Beans and saying, be like Beans, just explore your own neighborhood. So I can't hear I can't have all over me.
So we get more information on that where?
SenecaTourist.com. The experiences, the Punnian Project, the Ritz Theater, Hawks Crystal, the workshop, and also the Foster Iron Triangle Rail Park. They'll have the passports there. You can also download the passports as well, and we'll have like little photo frames and a couple different experiences. And so, just ask our community to get out and see what all that our community has to offer. Free admission, but obviously donations are accepted with that as well. And then also want to update the commissioners on for Destination Seneca County, happy to report that the city of Tiffin followed suit with the county commissioners, and we just signed a 3-year contract on Monday for tourism-related services. So that mirror basically the commissioner's contract with us as well. So,
Copycats.
Good.
I know. Want to thank you guys, and thank the city of Tiffin for their.
Hats off to Hawks Crystal, they had a nice article in the paper.
They did, yeah.
Front page, and good job there. Jimmy, any update on Buddy, the dog?
Yeah,
Talk
so
about the
he
cat
made it pretty
here.
far, but he's not going to be America's favorite pet. But we did a little post. I think he finished 4th in the quarterfinals, so he was. I think he ended up being like top 100. But he's still Seneca County's Dog of the Year, and obviously raised a lot of awareness for a great cause. So make sure and support your local shelters, support the dog warden, and good job, buddy.
We'll submit beans for next year for the county.
Yeah,
Now, yeah.
He's it's on social media right now under Destination Seneca County, so you can go check out beans for yourself.
Anyone else would like make a comment before we adjourn? Charlene?
I'll just do a quick comment for the sewer district. The brand new software goes live next week. So if you are a resident of Seneca County and you are on the Seneca County sewer district, which there are 5 of them, Bascom, New Riggle, Hammer, Heinzman, 23, 224, and Honey Creek. Please note your bill's gonna look a lot different. And we are not accepting online payments until the first week of April because we have to switch that process. The new link will be available on our website under the sewer district, which most customers already know those links. After we go live and they get their bills, they'll actually be able to log in and look at their accounts online as well. So, fingers crossed that we have no hiccups next week and that by the end of the week, the 3 people in our office are not pulling out their hair, so. But it's been a great experience and Crystal would like to say thank you. It was the best Christmas present she got so far. And it's a new software system, so.
Charlene, what's your hours, so that way people need to stop in and pay and?
Office hours are 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 8 to 3 on Friday. If the office is closed, maybe we're in training or God knows what, there is a gray drop box right beside the door that they can put their payments in as well, so.
Good. Okay. Anything else? Ed, we good?
No,
All right.
we'll see you next week.
So we will meet next Thursday. Let's talk about calendars. You brought up something about the fair. We'll do that next week.
Yeah.
Looking ahead a little bit, we've got some dates we want to kind of talk about. Just talk about them. Everybody bring their calendars in.
Yeah, just remember next week too, we have our, we gotta go out and do the viewing on the vacating of a couple alleys there. so.
We should be on time at 10, but we start in Springsville, Big Springs, Seneca County at 9:15.
Yep.
And then we go to where Barb's from, the white spot in the road. And then we go to Alveda, right?
Yeah.
At 9:15. And then Sheriff, we might, I see you're on there, we might need a.
Police escort?
Yeah, sheriff escort to get us back here in time.
Well, since they're not gonna up the speeds in
the
township
county.
road, now,
Yeah,
so now we're gonna have to stay
55,
within that,
yeah.
so, right.
Still be in the ribbon cutting for tomorrow.
So we're just gonna take a ride out and then we'll have the formal hearing in here, I think it's 10:30, right?
Yes.
Is that it? So we'll get whatever we can on our agenda completed and we'll go into that hearing and that's all good. All right? Good. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.